simulators. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard the Drake's Fortune. We are here for episode number 2. Last episode, we made quite a bit of money, $65,000 when we were out and about. Looks like we've refreshed on our bait already. I really appreciate all of your feedback on the last episode. And in fact, what we're gonna do here is Editor Drake is gonna come in and give a comment shout out right about here. All right, today's comment shout out comes from Yari Loxd 9486, who said, "Very cool, chill video. Please do more. By the way, I'm still here." The Mao smiley face. Thank you so much for your comment, man. It really helps encourage me to continue these. All right, thank you so much for that shout out there, Editor Drake. Okay, so one of the problems that we had on our first outing was our sonar was not that great. So we're gonna buy the maximum sonar here, the fish sonar level 4. We're gonna add that to our basket. But the other thing I wanted to take a look at is, by the way, one thing I didn't mention in the previous episode was that you have a fishing quota for each one of your boats or ships, and you have to use that quota in order to you know, like, basically the quota equals like how much fish you're allowed to catch in a season, okay? And the higher your quota, the more fish you can catch. At the moment, it's not really necessary, so I'm not really worried about that. But we're gonna pick up the top tier radar. We're gonna pick up the top tier buoy, because the nice thing about this last buoy is that it has a little flag on it, and it has a little beacon light to help us find our pots later. I'm also gonna upgrade our searchlight to the top level, and we're at $32,000 on the spend so far. I don't need the fishing quota because we're already pretty late in the season, and by the time we get to the point where we would have to actually utilize our fishing quota, it's gonna be like, you know, far away, so I don't really need to worry about that. I don't remember exactly. I think maybe it's in the logbook. Give me a second, I'll bring you right back. Okay, so I found where the shipping, or where the fishing quota is, and like I said, we don't need to worry about upgrading it anytime soon. I'm gonna zoom in on this spot right here and show you that our quota is 220,462.4 pounds, and so far we've caught 6,340. So like I said, we really don't need to worry about it. The other thing is too, we caught 6,000 pounds in 12 pots, so like that's like, you know, it's a number. So our max storage though on our vessel right now is 637 pounds, whereas our max storage that we could possibly have on the boat is 35,274 with all of the upgrades, right? So I'm not that concerned, but let's stop delaying and let's see if there's any more tips. I don't want to spend 3 grand for lobster from 3 days ago. Okay, what we're gonna do this trip is we're gonna come out of Ingalls, and I want to sail through here, and we're gonna come up this way, and we're gonna go unlock this town over here. On our way, I want to check out this this shelf right here to see if there's any good lobsters. Like right along this area is where we're gonna check. Now the cool thing is we could put a lobster on our map if we find lobster there, and that will be good for us to reference for next season as like a good location for us to check. But let's go ahead and head on out. I really appreciate everybody's enthusiasm for the last episode. It got way more views than I was expecting for this old game. So maybe it's just that like I'm the only guy playing it in 2025. I don't think that's the case. Because I saw this video. I saw this game over on Dre's channel, which he's like a really big YouTuber. I'm gonna turn that down a little bit more. Let's see if I do 80 on that, and we'll do 80 on that. Maybe that will help, because I noticed in the last video too that the sound of the engine was a little bit loud, like throughout the whole thing. So we're gonna go here, and boom, Grand Manan Island has been found, or whatever. Now you can turn on a feature that I do not recommend you turn on. It's called like harbor governance or whatever, or something like that. It's like, it's realistic, right? Once you pass this buoy or this sign, you have to go 6 knots or lower. And yeah, in the video game, that's just going to take you forever. Don't bother. It will literally take you forever. The other thing I don't recommend you do, if you're new to the game, there's these missions that are like a cargo transport missions, and I highly recommend you do not do those, because they force you to do those in real time. You're unable to do like how I just did the fast travel on the map and stuff. Like that feature's unavailable to you when you're doing those missions, and that's just utterly brutal. Look at that sunset with the aurora out there. That's really neat. Let's take a look on our binoculars. I forgot that I only have like the basic binoculars, so there's no additional zoom beyond this. But the weather, the waves are getting a little bit serious out here, so we'll want to be kind of careful. By the way, I was in the United States Navy for 8 years, and the way that I learned port versus starboard is that the word starboard, which is your right hand side here, is actually a longer word than the word port. Okay, just like the word right is longer than the word left, and the word green is longer than the word red. And so that's the way that I always figured out like how to read port versus starboard, and I hope that helps you out too. Okay, so I'm checking our brand new fancy dancy sonar here. I almost called it a radar, and I'm just checking to see if we have any lobsters here in the Bay of Fundy, but it does not look like it. It might be too deep for lobsters in this area, but we're gonna take a look here real quick. And the other thing I was considering, last episode I talked about possibly doing like some time lapses and stuff like that. I don't know if I will actually end up doing that. The reason behind my hesitance is because let me get out. The reason behind my hesitance for that is, one thing that I forgot is when I speed the video up, it's just going to exaggerate any of the like how the boat is rocking back and forth right now in these heavy winter waves, or spring waves actually, and so it's just gonna accent that all the same. If I see another lobster, I think we might start dropping pots here. I'm kind of watching our sonar, but in a time lapse, it's just gonna accentuate that movement, and I think it would make people seasick. So I think what I might end up doing for like longer sections of the video or whatever is, instead of doing a time lapse in this specific game, what I'll do is like a montage or something where I like cut up the, you know, me laying out the pots or whatever. There are plenty of lobster in this area, so I'm gonna mark that area. I don't know if there's enough for us to start dropping pots though, and that's kind of like what I'm watching over here. I'm waiting for like a cluster, right? Because right now these have been like individual lobsters and not like a family of lobsters. we gotta go after the families, man. We gotta earn our fat stacks of cash here, because this is the Drake's fortune. and we can't earn a fortune if we're just getting piddlies. Yeah, I'm not that impressed with this area. I don't know if I want to waste bait. It would probably do okay. Like, it would, you know, it wouldn't be that bad, but I think we're gonna move on to this area. So the other thing to keep in mind too, the distance here on the sonar, and I'll zoom in down here as well. So the distance on the sonar is, this whole part of the screen is 1,000 meters, okay? And then this part of the screen from here down to here is 95 meters. So you got to keep that in mind, that this is a whole kilometer wide on our thing. If you push the plus key here, you can zoom in to 500 meters, you can go to 250, you can go to 100. You can't go any further than 100 though. I usually keep this out to 1,000 initially, and it's kind of, I don't really go much closer than 500. I've never really seen a need to go closer than 500, but that's kind of like my little strategy right there. Okay, I'm gonna put in a cut right here, and I'll bring you back once we discover this location over here. All right, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Okay, so one of the other cool things about the game, and I'll see if I can pick it up on these little binoculars, but one of the cool things is not every boat and ship in the game is actually available at each one of the ports. So each port has a unique set of boats and ships available that they sell. But the other thing is too, even after you've discovered all of the towns and everything, not all of the boats in the game are available, even though you've discovered everything. Instead, I think there's one right over here. There are boats and ships scattered throughout the map that you have to go and discover, and then you're able to use that discovery to go buy that boat or ship. And I don't know if that one is one of them. I know that there's one up here. Maybe we'll try to find it when we leave. I forget the name of this harbor. So we're gonna discover it together. Digby, there you go. Just as I said, we're gonna discover it together. But yeah, I think up one of these channels is one of those discoverable boats, and we'll take a look here in just a little bit, because this little boat is one of the perfect ones for that job, because it's small and has a low draft. Okay, so a draft in shipping means that you're like how deep you are in the water is what that is about. So let's take a look. Let's see what they have available at the Digby shipyard. So they have the Scarlet, which is a crab boat, based on the well-known crab boat called the Saga. It's rigged for snow crab fishing. So this thing can only do snow crab fishing with a quota of 1.3 million pounds. That's pretty awesome. I have this in my other playthrough. This is what I was talking about with the Scallop. So this is a Viking power, state-of-the-art double dredger that is rigged for scallop fishing. And basically what happens is you have like a metal net on this side and you have a metal net on this side, and then these two cranes here lift those nets up and then drag them along the ocean floor, and then you can bring them back up once they're full. It's an $9 million boat, and yeah, pretty expensive. Way outside of our price range. But let's take a look and see if the bar has any tips for us. And looks like they just have that same lobster tip. We're gonna take that this time around, just to take a look, and we'll see where that ended up at. All the way on the opposite side. All the way over here. That's not very useful information for us. Thank you. Okay. So I'm gonna put in another little cut here, and I'll bring you back once I've explored these channels over here just a little bit, because I think that there's a boat down this way, if I remember correctly. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm bringing you back in because we're just entering the mouth of this channel right here. And as you can see, we have a little yellow question mark over here, which is going to be one of those undiscovered boats or ships up here near Digby. And I'm going slow because I want to be able to fit underneath here. I don't know if tides are a thing, but waves definitely are. And there we go. Now, one thing to keep in mind when you're back here in these areas, like in the channels and such, the water is very like calm, and so you're able to go a lot faster in here than you can out in the open ocean. And so just be careful of that when you're back here. Oh, it looks like it's a ship back here. Look at that. We might even be able to unlock it just like that. No, it might be like a trawler. I'm not sure, but we are about to find out here in just a moment. But this is how you unlock like some of the hidden boats and ships around the map. So kind of cool. I like that that's a feature as opposed to like just everything being available all the time and stuff. It kind of like encourages you to explore the map. And if this series continues to be successful, I'll show you where all of them are. All you got to do is hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and comment down below. And bam, there's our warning about being in shallow water. But what we're going to do is we're going to be cheeky little individuals, and we're going to fast travel back here, and we're going to take a look at what this boat is that we just unlocked. So we just unlocked the Hermes, and the Hermes is freaking $19.95 million. Basically $20 million. That is quite the ship. Holy jabibus, that is big. Hermes is a modern freezer trawler used for bottom trawling. The ship is rigged for fishing cod, pollock, haddock, and redfish. Now, I tried trawling before, but I'm not that good at it. So we'll have to once we get to that, we'll have to try to do it ourselves. But as you can see, its maximum storage size is 881,000 pounds of fish, and its stock version is 440,000. That's pretty significant. It's got a 5,360 horsepower thing with a max speed of 12 knots. It's a pretty significant boat there. Okay, so the other thing that I'm gonna do is come in here to maintenance, and we're gonna buy fuel, and we're gonna repair our boat. The boat is basically undamaged. We're gonna come out here to the map, and the reason why we're coming out here to the map is because so these different points of interest that we've unlocked, such as like you know, the lighthouse down here, you can use these as fast travel locations. And I want to check out this shelf over here for lobster. I think this might be a good area. And then when we check this area out, we'll come in here and we'll unlock that. So we're going to fast travel down here to this lighthouse. Now, when you do these fast travels, it uses twice the amount of fuel as normal. So like if you were to do that sail yourself, you would use half of the fuel to do that. But ain't nobody got time for that. Fuel is cheap. In the grand scheme of things, fuel is cheap. So don't worry about it. Like, just, you know, go out there, spend your money on fuel. You'll be fine. Trust me, you will be fine. Okay. So I need to be careful of because this boat right here is kind of in our way. So I'm gonna follow my own advice and we're gonna save the game just in case we end up running into that guy in our quick travel down here, because this is ultimately where we want to be. We want to be in this area, I think. And we want to be careful because there's a lot of ship traffic here. And the other thing too is you can kind of look at like where there's a bunch of ships and such. So there's like a few guys down here, so there might be like some fish in that area. There's some guys kind of congregating in that area. There's a lot of traffic over here, but this doesn't necessarily mean that that's where they're fishing, because there's a port right up here. And so we gotta mess around with that. I promise you we will get into some actual fishing here real soon. We just gotta find them, that's all. Okay, so I'm gonna put in a cut right here and we're gonna look around for some lobster, and I'll bring you back as soon as I find them. All right, I'm bringing you back because I gambled on this location over here, and as you can see, I went across the shelf here and up this way, and we did not find any lobster. So that was what I was talking about in like episode 1. There's risk and reward to you charting your own path and finding your own fish, right? The benefit is that you can get a lot of fish. The downside is you can also get no fish. So one of the things I wanted to point out right here is the fact that there's this arrow key, right? Because remember, this lobster icon was given to us as a tip. They were saying that the lobster were migrating to the southeast here, and that is a part of the game. The fish migrate. The fish and the lobster and the crab and all those guys, they all migrate around the map, and so they're not always going to be in the same locations, which I love. That being said, some fish and so forth have certain habitats that they happen to enjoy. Like for example, tuna and swordfish tend to be in areas that are like deeper than 100 meters, and stuff like that. So like you'll find different types of fish and such in those different areas. There's a couple other areas that I want to check out. Like I want to come down here after we unlock this town up here. Dennis Point was discovered though, which is nice. We could probably slow down just a little bit here, go to like half throttle here as we pull into port, and that should help. This late April or mid-April winter weather is wreaking havoc on the waves and such, and this little boat gets pushed around a lot by those waves. So okay, let's dock, and I want to see what ships are available here. So we have the Legend, which is a harpoon boat. So you would use a harpoon to go like hunt tuna and swordfish with this guy. And then the full throttle, which is like the super yacht version of, this is like the top tier harpoon boat that you can get. And what you do is you come out here onto the gangplank here and you start literally harpooning fish, bringing them on board. So that is where that is at. Let's see if anybody here at the bar. Nope, they don't. Okay. I don't think I can do any kind of rigging. Yeah, it's just lobster. Okay. All right, well, back out to the ocean we go. What I'm gonna do, like I said, I'm gonna head down here and we'll head down this path right here and we'll see if we can't pick up some lobster on the way, and then I'll come around this shelf right here because maybe they're hiding like back here in this little alcove, because you got to think, right, this section is fairly high in, it's not like, so this area is like 4 meters deep and then that's like 10 meters, and so this area is probably like anywhere from 50 meters. It's kind of hard to tell. I'll try to put the map like right on top of it. It's, you know, right around 50, and then that might be like 100 or 150, somewhere in that neighborhood. Either way, what I'm getting at is that this is a little alcove that they might be hiding in, and we'll try to check that out on our way back out. So I will bring you right back as we head back out to sea, and we'll head over to that area. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm bringing you back because I found a slightly denser population. I took a risk and I went south because I figured that since the pattern of the other lobsters were heading south, that maybe these lobsters were doing the same. And so we're gonna lay out a string of pots right here. I think I'm only gonna do like 6 in this area because it's not that dense, and so we gotta be mindful of that. Now if it continues to be like a populated area, I might drop all of our pots here, but I don't know, we'll play it by ear and kind of go from there. This episode is taking a long time to record, but I'll bring you back after I lay out these pots. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is the last pot that I just dropped off, and so now we're gonna have to let these guys soak. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm bringing you back as we gambled pretty heavily on this location, and I'm hoping that this is gonna pay off because my goodness, this has taken an hour and 4 minutes to record to this location. So you know, it's been a long time, and I'm gonna try to condense this video as much as I possibly can without cutting out like too much of the fun stuff or the interesting stuff. But it's kind of what I was talking about in the first episode, where you're gonna want to put some Drakish 2000 content over there on your second monitor as you go out here and start fishing, because there's a lot of downtime in between everything. So I just want to make sure that you're aware of that. But that being said, it is a very relaxing, fun game, and similar to the other simulators like Truck Simulator, Euro Truck Simulator, and stuff like that. It's very rewarding when you get like a really good string of pots, or like a really good, just like a really good haul. If you're hauling in like just tons of fish, it's very satisfying. And this, oh look at that, we got a bunch. It could be better, but it could be worse. This is the end of the season, so I'm not expecting amazing results. But oh no, he's too small. The first one's too small. The second one's too small. No, that guy's too small. That guy's just right. Okay, hopefully. No. Okay, we got a couple guys in here. This is not looking promising. That guy counts. We had guys similar size in the last episode. That guy's good. That's a lot of lobster though. All things considered. Oh, that guy's a big one. That guy might make up for the smaller guys. And boom. How much is that? 800 pounds of lobster. I think that's our best pot yet, honestly. I didn't think we were gonna get that much. I guess those monsters were worth a lot more poundage than I thought they would be. Okay, I'm gonna bring you back after I pick up all of the pots and we'll go from there. All right, I'm bringing you back as we are just about to go get our next pot. And as you see, we just finished picking up pot number 11, which had 804 pounds of lobster in it. I've been getting lots of monster lobster out here, and I'm a poet and I didn't even know it. But it's kind of, you know, maybe not worth the effort that we put into it today, because we're only like net positive about 300 pounds, and I think the issue here is that it's just the end of the season. And what I mean by net positive 300 pounds is that compared to our first trip in the first episode, right, we went to a known area and we got a ton of babies and stuff, but we still ended up with like 6,500 pounds of lobster in that area. So at the moment, we're not quite like significantly better off than we would have been in the other areas, just based on the time sink that was. So I think, but ultimately I think what the issue is really is the season. The season is basically over for lobster. The best time to fish for lobster is always going to be in the beginning. But there we go. We got 7,358 pounds of lobster, and let's see where the best price is. So we got Yarmouth at $10.60, Lockport at $10 basically. Ingalls Head is $10.20, Digsby is $9.73, and Dennis Point, woo, $11.66. That's a whole freaking like dollar more. All right, let's go there. Dennis, wait, was it Dennis Point? Hold on, I already forgot, and that is amazing. Dennis Point, yes, okay. Dennis Point, I think that was this one up here, isn't it? Oh, that's Digby. Dennis Point then is this one right there. Boom. Let's go sell and see what we earned for episode number 2. Fish are on board. We got no penalties. 85,000 dollaroonies, and that puts us like basically $20,000 higher than we had in previous times before. So the average price is $9 for lobster. So these guys want their lobster pretty bad. Ladies and gentlemen, that's gonna do it for episode number 2. We are at an hour and a half of recording time, so I have quite a bit of editing to trim this down into like a half an hour to 40 minutes worth of a video. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for being here at the end of the video, and I will catch you in the next one.
Thank you for making it to the end of that video. I really appreciate you watching the whole thing. Feel free to go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget that that's all free, and you can always take it away if you don't want to keep it here. I hope that you enjoyed that video, and I will see you in the next one.